There was a time when everything beyond our sky was a mystery, a dark canvas filled only with dots of light that humans could barely explain. No one knew what those distant glowing worlds actually looked like up close. No one could touch them, reach them, or even imagine their surfaces in any real detail. But everything changed. Piece by piece, decade by decade, humanity launched machines into the void. Tiny metal messengers carrying cameras and sensors, traveling millions of miles just to send back a handful of images. And what those images revealed was more extraordinary than any story ever written. Today, we are going on a journey through our entire solar system. Not the solar system of textbooks and diagrams, the real one. The one captured by spacecraft that pushed the limits of engineering and science. Get ready, because some of these images genuinely shocked the scientists who first saw them. The Sun. Let's start at the center, the star that holds everything together. The Sun is not just a ball of fire. It's a continuously exploding nuclear engine, fusing hydrogen atoms at its core, releasing energy so immense that a single second of its output could power all of human civilization for hundreds of thousands of years. But what really captures people's attention are the events that erupt from its surface. Massive rivers of magnetized plasma, sometimes stretching for hundreds of thousands of miles, can suddenly detach and launch into space at mind-bending speeds. In 2012, one such eruption was caught on camera in stunning detail. A giant arc of solar material broke free from the Sun's atmosphere and shot outward at nearly 1,000 miles per second. It was breathtaking and terrifying at the same time. What makes solar observation so special today is the technology we now have. Spacecraft designed to orbit the Sun itself, studying its magnetic fields, tracking its weather, and warning us when dangerous energy bursts are heading toward Earth. Mercury. The first planet from the Sun is Mercury, a battered, scarred world that looks more like our moon than a planet. Sitting just 36 million miles from the Sun, you'd expect it to be the hottest planet in the solar system. Surprisingly, it's not, and we'll get to why in a moment. For a long time, Mercury was one of the least explored planets simply because it's incredibly hard to reach. Its closeness to the Sun creates enormous gravitational challenges for spacecraft. But one mission cracked the code, a spacecraft that spent years orbiting Mercury and sent back over 200,000 images of its surface before intentionally crashing into the planet in 2015. Venus. Here's the planet nobody talks about enough. Venus. It's Earth's closest neighbor, roughly the same size, and yet it is probably the most hostile place in the entire solar system. Venus has a thick atmosphere, so thick and dense that the pressure on its surface is equivalent to being nearly a mile underwater on Earth. That atmosphere is made of carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid drifting through the sky. Sunlight enters but cannot escape, trapping heat in a runaway greenhouse effect that has pushed surface temperatures to nearly 900 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. Getting any kind of image from Venus's surface is a remarkable achievement. The Soviet space program managed it in 1982, sending a lander that was designed to survive for just 30 minutes. Against all odds, it kept transmitting color images of the surface for over 2 hours, revealing a landscape of flat, sharp-edged rocks under an orange sky. Later missions mapped the entire planet from orbit and discovered a world shaped by intense volcanic activity. Vast lava plains, towering volcanoes, and hundreds of miles of ancient lava channels cutting across the terrain. Earth. You might wonder, why include Earth in a tour of the solar system? Because seeing our own planet from space genuinely changes how you think about it. From 22,000 miles above the surface, Earth appears as a living marble, continents wrapped in swirling white clouds, the deep blue of oceans covering more than 2/3 of the planet, and polar ice caps glinting at the edges. It is the most colorful and visually complex object in our solar system. What makes Earth truly unique isn't just its beauty. It's the thin layer of gases, liquid water, and biological activity that covers its surface. From space, you can see the effects of weather systems, vegetation cycles, and even the lights of cities at night. Earth is the only planet we know of where all of these forces are active simultaneously, creating and sustaining life. Interestingly, one of the most striking photos of Earth was taken by a spacecraft on its way to another planet entirely, snapping a quick image of home before disappearing into the deeper solar system. Mars. Mars. The red planet. The one world beyond Earth that humans have genuinely dreamed of visiting, and for good reason. Of all the planets in our solar system, Mars is the most similar to Earth in terms of its structure, its day length, and its history. Orbiting spacecraft have photographed Mars from above in extraordinary detail, revealing a world of extreme contrasts. The planet has the longest canyon system in the solar system, stretching over 2,500 miles and dropping nearly 5 miles at its deepest point. It also has the largest volcano ever discovered in the solar system, a mountain so massive that its base would cover the entire state of New Mexico. But the most intimate views of Mars come from the rovers that have driven across its surface. Robotic explorers have sent back images of rust-colored rock fields, ancient riverbeds, and dusty plains that stretch to the horizon. One rover even assembled a panoramic image made from over 1,000 individual photos, a view so vast and detailed that you can practically feel the silence and emptiness of the Martian landscape. Jupiter. Nothing prepares you for Jupiter. It is the largest planet in the solar system, so massive that all the other planets combined could fit inside it with room to spare. And its appearance is unlike anything else. Jupiter is wrapped in bands of clouds in shades of orange, brown, cream, and white, all constantly in motion, swirling and churning as jet streams race across the planet at speeds of hundreds of miles per hour. And at the center of the southern hemisphere sits the Great Red Spot, a storm that has been spinning continuously for at least 350 years, wider than the entire planet Earth. A spacecraft in 2017 flew closer to the Great Red Spot than any camera had ever been before, capturing images of its swirling interior in shocking detail, chaotic, beautiful, and utterly alien. But what stunned scientists the most were the images taken of Jupiter's poles. No one had ever seen them clearly before. When the images finally came back, they revealed something nobody had predicted. The North Pole was covered in enormous circular storms arranged in a perfect, stable geometric pattern. Scientists still don't fully understand how or why they formed that way. Saturn. If Jupiter is the most powerful-looking planet, then Saturn is easily the most beautiful. No other object in the solar system has the same visual impact as Saturn with its iconic ring system, and no camera has captured it better than the spacecraft that spent 13 years orbiting it. Saturn's rings are not solid. They are made of billions of individual chunks of ice and rock, ranging from tiny grains to pieces as large as a house, all orbiting the planet in a perfectly flat disk. The rings stretch out for hundreds of thousands of miles but are surprisingly thin, in some places, barely 30 feet from top to bottom. One of the most iconic images ever captured in space exploration shows Saturn from behind, backlit by the sun. The rings glow in golden and blue tones, cast in light that never reaches us from Earth's vantage point. It's one of those images that reminds you that reality can be more beautiful than imagination. Saturn's northern pole carries its own mystery, a six-sided storm system, a perfect hexagonal shape that has persisted for decades. Scientists have studied it extensively but still cannot fully explain its precise geometry. Uranus. Uranus is the oddest planet in the solar system, not for what it looks like, but for how it moves. Unlike every other planet, Uranus rotates almost completely on its side, with its axis tilted at about 98 degrees. This means its poles spend roughly 42 years each in continuous sunlight or total darkness. For a long time, Uranus appeared featureless, a plain pale blue-green sphere with little visible activity. But more detailed imaging revealed a different story. The planet has a ring system of its own, dark and difficult to see compared to Saturn's, but real. And it has faint aurorae glowing at its poles, vast curtains of light generated by the planet's magnetic field. What makes Uranus particularly intriguing is that it's classified as an ice giant. Its interior contains a hot, high-pressure mixture of water, methane, and ammonia ices rather than the simple gas found in Jupiter and Saturn. It is, in many ways, a planet we have barely begun to understand. Neptune. Neptune is the final planet in our solar system, and in many ways the most remote and mysterious. Sitting nearly 2.8 billion miles from the Sun, it receives so little sunlight that its surface temperature drops to nearly minus 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite being so cold, Neptune is a planet of intense activity. It has the fastest winds ever recorded in the solar system, howling at over 1,200 miles per hour. When a spacecraft flew past it in 1989, it photographed a massive dark storm system in the southern hemisphere, a churning oval that seemed to echo Jupiter's Great Red Spot, though later observations showed it eventually disappeared. Neptune is a rich, deep blue, the result of methane in its atmosphere absorbing red light and reflecting blue light back into space. More recent images taken by advanced telescopes have shown additional storm systems forming and fading across the planet's face, suggesting that Neptune's atmosphere is far more dynamic than its quiet appearance implies. Pluto. For decades, Pluto was nothing more than a faint dot of light, even in the most powerful telescopes on Earth. Discovered in 1930, it spent 76 years as the ninth planet before being reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006, a controversial decision that still sparks debate. But in 2015, a spacecraft reached Pluto after a 9-year journey, and what it found left scientists stunned. Pluto was not a dead, frozen rock. It was an active, geologically complex world. Its surface featured a vast, heart-shaped plain of nitrogen ice that was completely smooth, implying it had been recently refreshed by geological activity. There were also mountain ranges made of water ice, rising nearly 2 miles above the surrounding plains. Pluto also has a large moon called Charon, and images captured of both objects revealed a world far more interesting than anyone had imagined. For a small, distant, reclassified world, Pluto delivered one of the most surprising reveals in modern planetary science. We've come a long way from the days when humans had to imagine what these worlds looked like. Today, spacecraft have orbited, landed on, flown past, and photographed nearly every major object in our solar system, and each mission has revealed something unexpected. The solar system is not the quiet, predictable collection of rocks and gas that early astronomers imagined. It's a dynamic, layered, endlessly complex system full of storms, volcanoes, ice mountains, geometric puzzles, and worlds that defy every expectation. And we are not done. New missions are already underway. New spacecraft are being built. And if certain experimental technologies move forward, we may one day send tiny probes beyond our solar system entirely, reaching the nearest neighboring star within a single human lifetime. The images you've seen today are just the beginning. There's a whole universe still waiting to be photographed. If you want to see more incredible content like this, make sure you subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which planet surprised you the most.